Hey guys, Ruby here with Unorthodox Aquatics, and today I'm here in front of one of my 55s with a special surprise for you. So here I am with the 55 behind me, and here behind me you will see that exciting little guy. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is right off the bat by looking at it. And that is a baby Arapaima. So let's take a closer look at it. Here he is. He is about 3 inches long, so just a teeny tiny little baby, but a true river monster they are. These guys hail from the Amazon River Basin in South America, and they are one of the largest freshwater fish, in the top 5 as a matter of fact. They can get as large as 15 feet, it's been reported in the wild, but in the aquarium setting, they don't get much larger than, I'd say, maybe, 3 feet. I've seen a couple get up to 5 feet, but they really don't top out at their real maximum length potential in an aquarium setting. So I am going to flip the camera here in a second and try and get as close up as I can to him to talk about a couple of the distinguishing characteristics. This guy is so hyper and active, such a cool little guy. See, they've got that long streamlined body, and the coloration at this juvenile stage, it's like silverish gray in the front half of the body, and then goes to like a darker black color. See how the anal and dorsal fins are set back far by the tail. That's a very common distinguishing characteristic of the Arapaima. This particular Arapaima is Arapaima gigas. That's the most common Arapaima species that you'll see out there. Some will say it's the only species, however, others have been noted to have been found out there. So these guys also have scales. On his size, it's a bit difficult to tell, but when he gets larger, those scales will develop into a strong, flexible armor type protection on the body to protect from predators, and also to aid in swimming and things like that. These guys are also labyrinth breathers, so they have a labyrinth organ, and this means that they need surface air. So they'll come up every 5, 10, 15 minutes, a little longer periods of time when they're larger, and they'll come up and they will gasp for surface air. So that's something important that is distinguishable about the Arapaima. And being close to the surface to get that air, it can make them vulnerable to predators, being that they're kind of more of a surface swimmer. So exposing them to the surface can cause complications for them in the wild, involving land predators and birds, things like that, things that can grab them out of the water from being close to the surface. Not many people keep these guys in an aquarium, mainly because they can't really stay in an aquarium for long periods of time. This guy, I am raising him out from a juvie. I'm going to raise him until I can get him into my pool pond, and maybe around a foot or so, I do have a home lined up for him. I wanted to grab him raise him, learn about him, and then put him off to a suitable place that I know where he can be housed properly. So like I said, this guy's in a 55-gallon right now, growing out. He's in there with a couple of juvie chocolate cichlids you can see there. Minimum tank size for captivity for these guys is 1,000 gallons recommended, at least, tank or pond, what have you. That just goes to show how big and how much of a monster these guys can get. Although they don't grow to their maximum potential in captivity, they still need a lot of swimming space. So let's talk more about their tank requirements. So aside from a lot of swimming space, these guys also need pristine water conditions. I threw an extra hob on this tank just to make sure I had proper filtration. Overfiltration is recommended with these guys, at least 50% or more overfiltration rate as far as gallons per hour goes with output of the filter. These guys are tropical, so 75 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit is recommended for them. And another thing is a lid. If you are going to be keeping an Arapaima, no matter what its size, a lid is a must, must, must. In the wild, these guys can jump out of the water and catch birds that are on branches. You know, they'll kind of coil up their body and then spring and jump right out of the water and reach ridiculous heights, you know, like 6 feet more, you know, just grabbing birds out of trees and shit. So crazy, but awesome. I'm trying to get close enough to see where you can tell the shape of its mouth. When they get larger, you can see their head tapers downward, and their eyes are set near the very front of their face. Right now, he looks a little more of a normal fish, but don't worry, he's about to get big and ugly eventually. So they have that upturned mouth and very wide. The mouth operates as a vacuum. When it opens, things just get sucked in, and that's how it feeds itself. So these guys can eat a plethora of things out in the wild, especially at a greater size. You know, larger fish, birds, mammals, reptiles, things that wander near the water. You know, they'll grab it, they'll eat it, whatever fits in their mouths. You know, it's going down the hatch. So, you know, fantastic predators these guys are. At this size, this guy is taking frozen bloodworms. I'm going on an adventure to pick some more up tomorrow because my store's out, so I have to travel. But I'm just going to do a little feeding here. So I have some thawed bloodworms. Oh, and see, look at, he just comes and demolishes. Oh, here comes a chocolate cichlid to pick up some of the rest. Just demolishes it. Come back. There he is. Just sucks it in with that vacuum mouth like nothing. Very fun to feed. These guys can consume double their body weight per day. They swim around and they expend all that energy, and they need constant feeding to be kept alive, especially at this young stage. The juvies don't make it a lot of the time in an aquarium setting. A lot of the reason is because they are not fed properly. So, like I mentioned before, this guy is with 2 juvie chocolates. When it comes to tank mates for an Arapaima, stay away from things that are going to fit in its mouth, if you want to keep the fish. But yeah, other large, peaceful fish, Oscars, things like that, fully grown, American cichlids, things that require similar water parameters and conditions. And these guys have a tendency to be pretty territorial and somewhat aggressive toward their own species, so toward other Arapaima, but they seem to get along all right with other species of fish that they are compatible with. Things like that, an arowana, things that are fully grown, larger, and that require the same tank conditions. Well, guys, this has been Ruby here with Unorthodox Aquatics. It's been fun again, as always. Talked a little bit here about my new little buddy, the Arapaima. We will update you over time with more videos as he grows and changes. And definitely once he can get in a pond and be compatible with the other fish that I keep in there. So thanks for coming by and watching. Fun as always, and you guys have a great night. Bye.